Today's topic is portable electric hand planes. We use these on the job all the time. They are so fantastic. These handy tools right here can get you out of all kinds of crooked situations and get everything straightened out for you. So let's talk about some of the finer details. Today, I have two different models in front of me. This one is by Dewalt, this one is by Bosch. So both of these brands are available at all the big box stores. There's another brand that we're not mentioning today. It's called Makita. That's the best one if you really want a good one, but we don't use Makita because they're more expensive, and we usually destroy them before they would ever wear out. They get destroyed, like dropped, broken, okay? They don't wear out, they just break. If you're in the market for one of these, I'm gonna tell you a few key differences that are important to me and may be important to you. So let's start off with the dust port here. Seemingly not so important, but this one actually has a nice round dust port you can plug a shop vac into, probably the small shop vac, all right? The Dewalt, on the other hand, has this really odd shaped outlet. I always end up mating a hose to it somehow. You can see this one, I have tape on it. That's from hoses being taped on. So boo for Dewalt on this. Unfortunately, that is pretty inconvenient because I use these inside a lot and I don't like to breathe sawdust any more than I already do. So I always hook up a vacuum if I use this in a house. Now, the next and more important thing is the knife and the cutter head, okay? You can see this Dewalt cutter head right here is made from aluminum. This piece right here is probably cast aluminum, and it's milled out to accept the knife and the bolts that hold it on there, okay? Now let's compare that to the Bosch. This Bosch is made of stamped out discs of steel. They're galvanized steel discs like washers that are just stacked up, and there's probably 100 of them in there, and they hold this carbide cutter. So this cutter head on the Bosch, you can see, is totally destroyed. The knife is missing large chunks of it. This knife is solid carbide. You cannot resharpen this knife. It is indexed by a little groove, so you can't put it in wrong. That's nice. And I'm gonna spin it around and let you notice here, there is only one knife. This machine has one knife. And if I took the screws out of this right now, this knife would fall apart into about 10 different pieces because the carbide is brittle and it's broken everywhere that the blade is chipped. So even just slipping up one time and hitting a nail with this blade could break the whole blade into tiny pieces. And even though they are sharp on both sides and reversible, when you go to take it out, it's broken. You can't use it. You have to put a new blade in. Now, you're not supposed to be hitting nails or screws, but trust me, you do it long enough, eventually you're gonna run into something that you didn't plan on hitting. Let's take a closer look at the Dewalt blade and see if it's any better. All right, you can see the blade is thicker. It's actually made of steel, and you can see it's actually laminated. There's a very fine line right there. Do you see that? This blade is laminated out of one layer. The part that actually is sharp is a better grade of steel, and then the back layer is just a softer steel. It actually makes it easier to sharpen. I think they did that on purpose. Now, this blade, it will get dull, but it won't break. I have actually bent these into all kinds of shapes when I hit stuff like metal or crazy hard knots, but they won't break. See how that's bent right there, actually? Right there, I just bent that the other day, but I'll pull it apart and hammer it in and just continue to use it. Also, this machine has two blades. Both of these are belt drive. They have these tiny little rubber belts in there or whatever they are. But anyway, we've never broken a belt on any machines. We've had, I don't know, a half a dozen of these, I think, over the years, and never broken a belt on any brand of machine. They all pretty much have plenty of power to make the cut that they're capable of making, and if you're making too deep of a cut, they will all bog down. And actually, almost always, the dust chute will get stopped up with shavings if you're taking too heavy of a cut, and you'll have to continue to clean it out with a pencil. That's really annoying, so you should limit your depth of cut to where the shavings can still exit the machine. All right, so what does it really boil down to? Which one do I think is better? Which one do I recommend? Well, it depends. Let me tell you that this machine does better with some rough cutting. It does better in situations where you might hit nails like framing nails, which we use this to straighten a lot of framing. We plane a lot of Advantex subfloor where the joints get a little bit puckered up over time with some water on them. And this one I would recommend if you're just doing finish work where it's not likely, I said not likely, that you're gonna hit any nails. If you're just doing trim work, I think that this one may even cut a little bit smoother, but not really for rough framing. Chances are you're gonna trash the blade in the first 5 minutes, and then you're gonna be going out to your truck and taking these stupid little screws out and trying to replace the knife, all right? I don't like doing that. I would rather have one that just gets a little bit dull, but I can just keep using it for the rest of the day and take it home and sharpen it that night. So for me, I prefer this one because I can sharpen it easily at my house with a machine that is especially designed for sharpening planer knives. I know not everybody has one of those available to them, but I do, and so that is why I prefer this. Now, there's other methods of sharpening this without a specialized machine. You could use an angle grinder, you could use a bench grinder, and you could even use a honing stone with honing solution. So there's other options. I just got some good advice from the cameraman. Don't talk faster, just talk less. That's good advice. I like that.
Hey, thanks for watching our video today. Remember to subscribe to our channel and click the bell so you can get our future videos. See ya.